welcome to the Brasileirao magazine of round 33, your weekly update of the most competitive championship in the world. Coming up on today's show, just a matter of time, Atlético Mineiro defeat Atlético Paranaense and are a whisker away from a title. Dream on? Flamengo beat Corinthians with a last-minute goal to stay within touching distance of the leaders. Goodbye relegation zone. São Paulo come out on top in the derby against Palmeiras with a fantastic goal as they climb the table. A blowout in the northeast. Ceará steamroll arch enemies Fortaleza and now eye the Libertadores placers. Great moves. Amazing dribbles. Fantastic skills even on the bench. All coming up right now in the Brasileirao magazine show. Atlético Paranaense took on leaders Atlético Mineiro in the Arena de Baixada for the opening match of round 33 of the Brasileirao Açaí. While the home side prepared for the Sudamérica final, Galo began their countdown to the second national title. The game was also a preview for the Copa do Brasil finals next month. With those finals on their minds, coach Alberto Valentim sent out his reserves. On the other side, Cuca set out his team with his best players, trying to guarantee the 3 points away from home. The first opportunity of the game was through a set piece from Kelvin, but the ball flew over the crossbar. Galo responded with Diego Costa. He outjumped the defenders after the corner, but headed over. In the very last move in the first half, Keno combined with Hulk. He pulled the ball back to Zaracho, who was clear to strike home. 1-0 Galo.
Atlético Mineiro into the lead, capping off a lovely, well-worked play down this left-hand side with Dodô and Keno. And Matias Zaracho appeared in the right place at the right time to tap it in for 1-0.
When the game resumed, Hulk had an opportunity to send the ball in. After receiving a clever pass from Keno, he found the back of the net. However, the striker was ahead of the move and VAR confirmed the offside. Next, Keno delivered a ball to Guga outside the area. The right back shot and a slight touch from Jeddah almost beat Bento, the winger again. He advanced and entered the Hurricanes area through the left. This time he nailed Bento's post. Almost a second for the visitors.
Wow! Extraordinary from that man right there on the left-hand side. It all started with 2 attempted crosses. A pass in Atansiuba, he says, I'm going to try and do this myself. He takes the shot, and it almost pays off.
The hosts had one last opportunity to draw level in the game. Homolo beat the defenders after a centre, but got his angles all wrong and missed a great chance. Game over in Curitiba. A very important win for Galo, a one step closer to taking the title. Grêmio and Red Bull Bragantino went head-to-head in Porto Alegre. The Tricolor are in a dramatic situation in the competition and wanted to take advantage of the fact that the Massa Bruta were focused on the Sul-Americana final. Wagner Mancini assembled his team with changes in the attack. Campaz and Jonathan Alberto were chosen to reinforce the front. Mauricio Barbieri rested all his starters and sent out young players looking for an opportunity to display their talent. Since only the win mattered, Grêmio went all out trying to kill the match off in the first half. With 3 minutes on the clock, Ferreira tried to centre, and Luciano blocked the ball with his arm, and the referee had no doubts about calling the penalty. Diego Souza went straight down the middle of the goal and Julio Cesar was able to block it. But the follow-up fell to the striker who didn't miss the second chance and scored the first for Grêmio.
Julio Cesar tried, and Diego Souza got the rebound to score the opening goal in the Arena do Grêmio.
Red Bull's only real opportunity in the half came when Luen Candido's set piece had the right angle, but Breno did just enough to keep it out. Next, Campaz advanced down the left and gave it to Ferreira. The winger rolled it back to Lucas Silva, who finished into the back of the net. 2-0 Grêmio.
Devastating attack on the left for the Gaúchos. See once again the play. Ferreirinha finds Lucas Silva that beats Julio César to score.
Moments later, the Tricolor were able to score a third. Jonathan Roberto received the ball in midfield and took a chance from a long way out. His shot flew into the net. A great goal from a young forward returning to the starting lineup.
What a missile from Jonathan Robert!
Right before the end, Alejandro had the Massa Brutus' best chance in the entire game. He received a deep pass and tried to lob Breno. The number 9 was just about to celebrate, but Kahneman saved right on the line at the last moment. Something for the fans to enjoy. And that was that in Grêmio's arena. The home side had a convincing win, picking up 3 vital points in the final stages of the competition. Now Red Bull have a chance for glory in their first ever international final in the club's history. Santos faced Chapecoense in the Vila Belmiro, hoping to move further away from the relegation zone. The home team went onto the pitch with Mourinho and Diego Tardelli leading the attack. Chape had Mikey and Anderson Leachy in a creative role, and Ahiki Almada and Caio Nunes up front. The first 20 minutes went by with little action, but when Camacho found Mourinho inside the area, the Santos captain was taken down by Jordan. Mourinho got up and converted to put his team ahead.
To the challenge, Marinho versus João Paulo. Marinho to take it, and it's 1-0.
Minutes later, the Coastal Club star man picked up an injury and went off to the applause of the fans. Enrique Almeida hit a pass to Mikey. He controlled the ball and struck, demanding a good save from João Paulo. In stoppage time, Mikey tried again, this time from outside the area, and João Paulo had to work even harder to save Santos. Half-time was over and Chape kept pounding the Santos keeper. Ezequiel received the ball on the far right, tried to centre and almost found the net. But the away side left some spacers and Santos took advantage. Pirani was on the right and sent it to Marcus Guilherme, who finished off the job from close range.
Good ball. Pirani sends it across and it's 2-0! And what a spectacular ball from Gabriel Pirani, who made the difference the instant he stepped on the pitch.
Chape kept going and tried with Marquinhos. He fired a rocket from outside the area and João Paulo conjured up yet another spectacular save. With the win, Santos edged towards safety, but still need more points to make sure. Chape put in a decent performance as Serie B beckons. América Mineiro clashed swords with Atlético Goianiense in the Arena Independencia on Wednesday evening. In high spirits after 4 wins in 5, the home side needed another win to secure their Serie A status. The Dragons were in a different situation with no wins in 3 and went into the match only 2 points away from the relegation zone. With 8 minutes on the clock, Fernando Miguel saved the away side from going behind. Ademir centred, the defenders failed to clear the danger, and Juninho's shot was stopped by the keeper's excellent save. The second half was a bit livelier. This time it was Mateus Cavicchioli's turn to work. On the 51st minute mark, Montenegro's header forced the keeper into a brilliant save.
Igor Karius centers it to chance for the Dragons. What a save by Mateus Cavicchioli.
The football wasn't quite working out, so Pedro Henrique tried to pull off a volleyball stunt, but to the annoyance of his opponents, the Dragon defender somehow avoided any sanctions. Then came some good opportunities for both teams. Marlon took a shot from outside the area but hit the post. Rodolfo got the follow-up and wasted the best chance in the game.
Oh, almost America opening the scoreline. Rodolfo missing the opportunity after a good kick from outside the box. Rodolfo passing the ball instead of firing it. What a chance by the Rabbits to open the scoreline at home.
In the closing stages of the match, Janderson found Eder, but his attempt went over the crossbar. Game over in Belo Horizonte. America had to settle for a point at home, but they're safe from a drop. This was a decent result for the Dragons in their fight against relegation. Cuiabá and Internacional went head-to-head in the Arena Pantanal on a warm spring evening. The Dorado were aiming for a spot in the international competitions, while their opponents were trying to stay close to the leading pack. Jorginho chose to put out a young, fast midfield to give the team more pace. Internacional had their key player starting on the bench, as Edilson arrived back from international duty and was given some rest. The youngster, Caio Vidal, had the hard task of replacing him. Cuiabá were the best team in the first 45 minutes, creating some good opportunities. The first one came out of a superb collective move. Pepe got the ball after Claeson's dummy and then returned it to the winger, who missed the target with his finish. At the very end of the first half, Max centred and the ball went all the way to the other side, where Rafael Gava delivered a powerful shot, which was saved by Lomba. Back from the break, and Cuiabá continued their dominance in the match. Paulão hit a marvellous long pass from the defence, and they've played some one-on-one with Lomba, but the winger missed a target once again. Felipe Marques got position down the flanks and centred. Rodrigo Dorado tried to block it, but ended up handling the ball with a sliding tackle. Elton went for it, and used all his experience to beat Lomba and convert for the Dorado. 1-0.
Goal!
Game over, and another huge step towards safety for Cuiabá, who now have their eye on bigger things. 3 losses in the last 5 have hit Internacional in their quest for a slot in the Libertadores. It's time for the King Clash. Fortaleza and Ceará locked horns in the Arena Castelão with a different set of goals in the competition. The Tricolor going through their worst moment in the Brasileirao with no wins since round 28. For the match, Voivoda rested some players after a demanding calendar. Fortaleza were the home team for the match, so technically speaking, the Vozão were looking for their first away win, even though they were playing on home soil. From the very start, the Black and Whites ran the show. Edison got it all wrong and lost the ball to Lima. He moved forward under no pressure and beat Marcelo Boecki to open the score in the arena.
Ceará! And it looks like Lima have taken the lead. Fortaleza just not at the races here.
The first opportunity for Voivoda's team came at the end of the first half. Hobson found Edison, but the defensive midfielder didn't quite get his shot right. Before half-time, Ceará took advantage of the spaces given by their rival. Fernando Sobral gave it to Mendonça, who turned well before hitting a sweet pass to Vina. The midfielder did the rest and doubled the score in the derby.
And they get it before half-time, and Vina and the Ceará fans will celebrate!
Iago Pikachu tried to cause problems when he found Wellington Paulista in a rare attempt for the Lions, but João Ricardo pulled off a tremendous save. With 85 minutes on the clock, Vina, Yoni Gonzalez and Mendoza exchanged passes. The number 10 then gave it to Vina to finish and score another excellent goal in the match.
Fortaleza once again get it all wrong at the back. And Vina says thank you very much.
Mendoza continued to cause nightmares for the Fortaleza backline. He came up with another assist when he picked out Gonzalez. The Colombian duo hammering the last nail in their arch-enemy's coffin. 4-0 to Ceará and an outstanding performance in the Castelão. Voivoda has work to do after his team conceded 7 goals in the last 2 matches. At the opposite ends of the table, Palmeiras and São Paulo went head-to-head in the Allianz Parque for one of the biggest derbies in the country. While the Greens were fully focused on the Libertadores final next week, São Paulo were fighting against a possible relegation for the first time in their history. Without Dudu and Felipe Melo, who was suspended, and also other players being rested, Abel Ferreira put out his reserves. Rogério Ceni returned with a formation with 2 central defenders as Luciano, Rigoni and Victor Bueno led the line. The Tricolor had the first chance. After an exchange of passes just outside the area, Victor Bueno shot from a distance and demanded a difficult save from Weberton. Luciano won the contest against Hernan and set up São Paulo's attack. Gabriel Sara progressed with a lot of room and nailed a fantastic shot from outside the area to open up the scoring. What a goal from the 22-year-old midfielder.
Gabriel Sara A beautiful goal here for São Paulo at Allianz Parque.
Back from the break, Rigoni quickly advanced and hit a powerful shot in the first minute of the match. A dangerous opportunity from a tricolor. Weberton gave the ball to Patrick de Paula in defence, but the midfielder messed up and lost the ball to Luciano, who took full advantage to find the back of the net. The first goal in 11 matches for the striker.
Patrick de Paula, he felt the presence of the player of São Paulo.
Weberton then saved what would have been the third from this header from Luciano. In the follow-up, he also blocked an attempt by Marquinhos. Great moves from the Brazil keeper. Palmeiras tried to fight back for the first time with 68 minutes on the clock. Rony got the ball into the area and set it up for Gustavo Scarpa. He miscued his shot, which then fell to Patrick, who shot over the crossbar. Game over at the Allianz Parque, and a very important win for São Paulo as they moved away from the relegation zone. Palmeiras put in one of their worst performances of the season and will have to improve for the Libertadores final. In the Alfredo Jaconi, Juventude hosted Fluminense as both teams arrived after a win in the last round. Juve needed all 3 points to leave the relegation zone, while Flu wanted to keep chasing the top 6. Jair Ventura had to make do without Sorriso and Macedo, who was suspended. Capixaba and Paulo Henrique came in. Marcao made changes from the win against Palmeiras, and Nonato and Lucas started the game in place of Martinelli and Arias. The game had barely started when Andre pulled off his gorgeous lob on Wesley, but Andre's stunt didn't quite work out so well. The set piece from Juve started with Castillo's corner. He returned the ball all the way back to Jadson, who found Doan inside the area. He then centred with a header, and Victor Mendes finished the job to open up the score. An effective move from the home team.
The Green Terror of Southern Brazil are ahead here in Caxias do Sul, Alfredo Jaconi Stadium.
The equaliser almost came with this powerful shot by Luca at close range, but Douglas was there to save the day. Fog descended down on the Alfredo Jaconi in the second half, a familiar event in the region, but it made it hard to see what was happening on the pitch. But the team from Caxias were used to the weather and kept pounding Fluminense. Castillo finished from outside the area and almost scored after a slight touch from Nino. Then came another chance for the young midfielder. After a perfect centre, Castillo hit the woodwork with a header in the last chance of the match. One goal though was enough to seal the points. Celebrations for the players as they made it 3 wins on the bounce and climbed out of the relegation zone. But they know they still have a lot to do to avoid the drop. Over 48,000 fans turned up at the Maracanã for the clash between the 2 most popular teams in the country. On one side, Flamengo was still dreaming about retaining the title. On the other, Corinthians had the opportunity to finally enter the top 4 after Red Bull's loss. Before the game started, Gabriel Barbosa received a tribute for scoring 100 goals for Flamengo, while Michael completed 100 games for the Black and Reds. With the Libertadores final coming up, Renato Portaluppi decided to rest most of his first-teamers with only David Luiz in defence. Silvinha repeated the formation from the last round but had the return of Fabio Santos at left-back. Flamengo started the game on top, but the first good chance was from the Musketeers. Jorge Guedes got inside the area, brushed off David Luiz and hit the side netting. The home side tested Casio at the end of the first half. Mateuzinho shot from outside the area and prompted the keeper's first save in the game. In the second half, Flamengo brought on some real firepower with Bruno Henrique and Michael. The number 19 made a great move and provided Bruno Henrique with a spectacular pass, but Casio managed to block the shot. The only real chance for the Musketeers came at the end of the match through Jorge Guedes. The blonde devil shot from outside the area and almost scored. But Flamengo snatched the points in dramatic fashion. Rodinei brushed off Fabio Santos and got past Gabriel with an embarrassing nutmeg. The right back then hit a superb delivery for Bruno Henrique to direct the ball home.
A fantastic play of Rodinei down the right. The humiliation of the number 20, the cross, and the perfect header for Bruno Henrique to open the score.
Party time in the Maracanã as the winger scored his 11th in the Brasileirao. A great win for Flamengo, who secured the points despite starting with their reserves. Corinthians blew their chances of breaking into the top 4. There was a relegation battle in the Arena Pernambuco when Sport and Bahia went head-to-head, with both teams hoping to survive a drop. Gustavo Florentin had the return of Gustavo in midfield as Paulinho Mussolini started on the bench. Without Mateus Bahia and José Guto Ferreira set up his team with Juninho Capixaba back at left back and Michael Douglas up front. There was a decent turnout and Sport tried to make the most of home advantage. Everton Felipe received from Gustavo in the middle and shot from outside the area. The ball went wide, but Danilo Fernandes had to make sure it was covered. With 30 minutes on the clock, Fernandes had a pop. The number 8 received from Marcao and fired a rocket from outside the area. Again, it was just inches wide of Bahia's woodwork. The Lions looked the better of a 2 and kept the pressure up in the second half. Gustavo Florentin brought on Paulinho Mussolini to increase Sport's options in attack. Less than 5 minutes later, the move paid off. In a fast counter-attack, Mikael gave the ball to Mussolini, who was on his left. He cut into the middle and fired in a shot that sailed into the back of the net.
The fans go wild here in the Arena Pernambuco, Charles. A beautiful shot.
The third goal from the winger as the arena erupted. Gilberto had had a tough night and the former Sport frontman got it in the neck from the locals when he was subbed. Bahia's top scorer has been around a bit and he gave as good as he got. The tricolor side had their best chance in the final minutes. After a mix-up in the area, Rodriguinho recovered the ball. He turned on the defender before shooting with his left, but the ball flew over the crossbar. Even though there was a slight deflection, the home side got a goal kick. A big win for Sport Recife, but their fate is likely to be out of their hands. Bahia are also in the relegation zone, and it's touch and go whether they'll survive or not. Opening up our top 3 is Vina of Ceará with this lovely hit on the ball to beat Fortaleza's Marcelo Boeck. A great display of finishing skills from Ceará's midfielder to guarantee his presence in the best goals of round 33.
And he steered it into the back of the net. 2-0 then for Ceará against arch enemies.
The most incredible save of round 33 was this one from Red Bull's Julio César. In one of Grêmio's attacks, Ferreira received the ball and entered the area and shot. The keeper then reacted swiftly and did just enough to save the Massa Bruta. For his sharp reflexes, the award of the best save in round 33 goes to Julio César. Ceará's Lima provided us with the most spectacular bit of skill of round 33. Fortaleza defender Chinga was left dumbfounded by Lima's amazing moves. A beautiful lob that got the fans going in the stands and gave that finishing touch to Ceará's embarrassing win over their bitter rivals. Let's take a look at the players and the manager who impressed us in round 33. In goal, we've gone for Cássio of Corinthians. At right back, Rodinei of Flamengo. The two central defenders are Arboleda of São Paulo, Victor Mendes from Juventude. At left back, Bruno Pacheco of Ceará. In midfield, Diego Flamengo, Vina Ceará, Gabriel Sara, São Paulo. Our three-pronged attack includes Keno from Atlético Mineiro, Jonathan Hobercheek from Grêmio, and Luciano from São Paulo. The man on the bench in this round is Thiago Nunes from Ceará. The best player in round 33 was Vina. Ceará's midfielder scored 2 in the game as the Vozal crushed bitter rivals Fortaleza with a 4-0 win. For the first goal, he popped up at the right time before finding the back of the net. For his second, Vina controlled the ball outside the area and then delivered the goods to beat Marcelo Boecki. Vina, the best player in round 33 of the Brasileirao Açaí.
Fortaleza once again get it all wrong at the back. Vina says thank you very much.
Leading the danger zone, Juventude secured an important win against a team from the top 10 and managed to lead the deadly bottom 4 of the competition. The victory opened up a 3-point gap over Bahia, the first team inside the relegation zone. The Brasileirao Açaí is in the final stages and there's just a handful of games to go. Right now, Atlético Mineiro looking good for the title with 71 points, a long way ahead of second place Flamengo. Making up the top 4 are Palmeiras and Red Bull Bragantino. Corinthians and Fortaleza now are in 5th and 6th. Looking down at the wrong half of the table, Santos are still yet to really get clear of trouble. The same can be said of São Paulo. But the teams who occupy the bottom 4 places are Bahia, Sport Recife, Grêmio and relegated Chapecoense. Round 34 of the Brasileirao Açaí began back on October the 28th when Red Bull beat Sport Recife in Bragança Paulista. It will continue on Saturday with Atlético Mineiro against Juventude, Fortaleza Palmeiras, Chapecoense Grêmio, Atlético Goianiense Ceará and Internacional against Flamengo. On Sunday, Fluminense take on América Mineiro, Corinthians and Santos lock horns in the black and white derby and Bahia face Cuiabá. The round closes on Wednesday when São Paulo come up against Atlético Paranaense. That's it for this week. We hope you're enjoying our coverage of the toughest, most exciting league in the Americas, and we'll be back next week with more action from the Brasileirao.